MV Chem Pluto, which was attacked on 23rd December, has reached Mumbai and is anchored safely at outer anchorage of the port. According to the Indian Navy, analysis of the area of the attack and debris points towards a drone attack. However, the Indian Navy maintains that further forensic and technical analysis will be required to establish the vector of attack, including the type and amount of explosive used. But apart from all of this, a joint investigation by various agencies has commenced. Meanwhile, Indian Navy warship INS Mormugao, INS Kochi, INS Kolkata, which are guided missile destroyers, are deployed in the region. A P-81 aircraft is also conducting sorties. They will be further enhancing their patrolling in the region to keep the Indian and other merchant vessels safe in the region. So, of course, viewers, just giving you an understanding of exactly what has taken place, what is exactly happening. But quickly taking you to the big wall over here, we're going to tell you about the area of attack and the debris found on the ships. Of course, viewers, this is the ship over here. As you can see, we can see the damage, the extent of damage that the attack did in fact have. Of course, viewers, visuals over there on your screens, and there was a big visual over here on our screens, but you can see the extent of damage that this drone attack had. And I say that it was a drone attack because our preliminary assessment says so, but of course, viewers, further assessment is awaited. But looking at these visuals, you can see the extent of damage that did in fact take place due to the drone attack. Of course, viewers, if you look over here, you can see there was damage over there. That's a larger picture. This is a more, you can see closely exactly the kind of damage that did take place. You can see a lot of debris over here. So, of course, viewers, these are the first visuals of MV Chem Pluto since it arrived in Mumbai. But meanwhile, Commodore Anil Jay Singh, defense expert, joins us on the broadcast this morning. Good. All right. But before, in fact, I propose a question to him, my colleague. All right. I'm being told that my colleague Pia Man joins us on the broadcast to give us more on this. Pia, over to you. What more details can you share with our viewers?
Indeed, Savri, as you were showing, that particular spot on that ship right here that our viewers can see on the screens, it is not some small spot. There was a drone attack that had taken place. You can see the extent of damage on the MV Chem Pluto right here on our screens. You can see this is a photo from the outside, of course, that our viewers are seeing as of now in the little yellow area circled. Again, from a close-up of that exact area where the damage has taken place, and these are shots from the inside. Now, of course, the Indian Navy has also commented on the statement. The Indian Navy maintains that it is a drone attack, but they have, of course, said that the vector is yet to be found and the nature of the attack is yet to be ascertained. As you've also informed our viewers, a preliminary analysis has taken place, but of course, the Indian Navy is looking at securing our seas even further. We are getting to know that the INS Mormugao, INS Kochi, INS Kolkata are deployed. These are guided missile destroyers. A P-81 aircraft is also patrolling the area. Meanwhile, we're also getting information that, U.S. versus Iran is raging right now. The U.S. has squarely blamed Iran. Iran has denied this completely. But of course, what remains in focus at the moment is the extent of damage, and we're looking at what exactly the probe will yield back to you, Asabri.
Right, absolutely, Pia. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast and sharing that with our viewers. Meanwhile, waiting with us, Raja, patiently is Commodore Anil Jay Singh, defense expert. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for joining us on NewsX. Now, right now, we have the first visuals of MV Chem Pluto. Since it has arrived in Mumbai, we can see the extent of damage that has taken place. The preliminary assessment indicates that there was a drone attack that did take place. You can see chairs are broken. There's a lot of debris inside the vessel and in fact on the outside of the vessel as well. What do you want to say on this, sir?
This has been a very provocative attack because what is of great concern, I think, to us is that it happened just 200 miles from Porbandar, which is more or less in our exclusive economic zone and pretty far removed from where the actual conflict is raging. And even the Houthi rebels have generally been targeting ships in the Red Sea and not necessarily in the Arabian Sea. So one really wonders where this drone attack came from. I know the Americans are blaming Iran for it, but I don't know if we have substantial and concrete evidence to support that. Because I wonder why would Iran target a ship heading in the Indian Ocean just 200 miles from India. So I think it's a matter of concern. We need to investigate this further. I think the forensic examination so far has indicated that it was a drone attack. But who actually fired the drone? What kind of a drone was it? What was the purpose behind it? This needs to be investigated. Of course, the Indian Navy is on high alert. 3 guided missile destroyers and a guided missile frigate are in the area. The ship has been escorted back to Mumbai. So all that is under control. The maritime domain awareness element is in control. We have a P-8I aircraft in the area. But we have to be careful because, the problem is that when something like this happens in the maritime domain, it doesn't remain restricted to just a small geographical area like a land war. Like the Israel-Hamas attack is restricted to those 2 areas primarily. But the moment the maritime domain comes into the picture, it starts impacting the entire globe economically. For example, the ships now being rerouted via the Cape of Good Hope and not transiting through the Red Sea is going to cause cost to go up. It's going to cost a lot more. It's going to take longer. And that is going to have an impact on the global economy. So what we have to be careful about is that our shipping remains safe. India is very dependent on the Arabian Sea for the safe movement of its trade. 90% of our trade, 80% of our oil and gas traverses across the oceans. We have to be very careful. We have to monitor it very closely. And while definitely distancing ourselves from getting directly involved in the sort of conflict, we have to be very vigilant and ensure that our maritime interests do not get harmed in any way.
Right, so absolutely, we do need to be careful, and as you were stating earlier, of course, where this attack took place, it was mere 271 nautical miles away from Porbandar. So absolutely, we do need to be careful, and in fact, patrolling is taking place. INS Kochi, INS Kolkata are of course deployed in the region, but of course coming back to the big question that is that if not Iran, then who? Can it potentially be Yemen? Can it be Somalia? What is your assessment on this front?
Well, personally, I don't think that Somalia or Yemen would launch an attack this far into the Arabian Sea and deliberately provoke a response by, let's say, India or any other country in the region. They are more focused on what is happening in the Red Sea. They have the kind of weaponry which is capable of causing damage to ships in the Red Sea. They have stated that most of their attacks on shipping will be for shipping headed towards Israel. So one really doesn't know. I think till we get some more concrete information on this, or we are able to establish where it came from once the forensic audit is completed or the forensic examination is completed of the debris and probably the remains of the drone, we'll be able to get a clearer picture on exactly what happened and why this ship was targeted where it was.
Right, so absolutely. But spillover of the Red Sea crisis into the Arabian Sea, what do you think? Who gains from this?
I think, you see, India has, from a foreign policy perspective, India has started engaging a lot with West Asia. West Asia is very important to India. Most of our oil and gas comes from there. We have a very large Indian diaspora in West Asia. So ensuring that a stable West Asia is definitely in India's interest. And with these recent initiatives like the I2U2 and the more recent IMEC, the India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, which India wants to establish as an alternative to the China's Belt and Road Initiative, I think there would be interests inimical to the successful implementation of these programs. Now, it's very difficult to pinpoint who exactly would do what, but certainly there are forces at play. We don't know what exactly. I mean, I would not be able to comment on that. I'm sure people in the government would probably understand where the pressures are coming from. But certainly we have to be vigilant. We have to be alert. The West Asia is very important to us. We have to ensure that the Arabian Sea is stable. You would recall that, between 2008 and 2013, when piracy was rampant in Somalia, a lot of that was spilling over slowly towards India, and almost up to India's EEZ had been declared a high-risk area, almost till 2015 or 16, if I'm not mistaken. Now, the moment an area is declared a high-risk area, insurance premia go up for ships operating in the region. Neutral flag ships are hesitant to come into areas where there is a possibility of them being attacked. So all this has an impact on will not only have an impact on India's economy, it will have an impact on the global economy. And India, as a preferred security partner in the Indian Ocean, and almost having taken on the responsibility of being the first responder in any crisis in the Indian Ocean, all this impacts us, not only for us, but for the region as a whole. Because the amount of shipping that transits through the Indian Ocean is the only ocean which connects the Atlantic to the Pacific. And, over 100,000 ships transit this ocean every year. So that means that has a huge impact on the global economy. And that is something India, as a preeminent maritime power in the Indian Ocean, as a first responder, as a preferred security partner, and as one of the countries which takes its responsibility of ensuring a stable rules-based order at sea, will have to play a very important role in this.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.